cool. Is it even connected? Yeah, it is.
Of course it's connected.
Okay. I guess I'll just set it like right
Gotta
there.
like sit closer to it.
That's why, yeah, I have my chair a little sideways like this.
Just like lean into it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Apathetic podcast. I'm your host, Mike Reeves, with my co-host, Carlos D'Alvarado.
What's up?
Today we're talking about why Disney sucks.
Yeah. And to provide a little context, no, Disney did not always suck. It was goated for like maybe 10 to 20 years.
I mean, like for 70 years, for a little while, they had like awesome movies.
Yeah, that's true. I guess like 10 to 20 years in like our lifespan. That's kind of what I'm implying. But there's just been like so much, I don't know, like dumb stuff going on with Disney. Like, it's like I guess we'll start with the whole like Star Wars stuff. Like, I feel like the first mistake they made is with their sequel movies, because they were like not good at all.
And that's kind of when they started going downhill. But at least like their sequel movies weren't like super political though. It was just like they were just bad.
Yeah,
Just bad movies. But at least they didn't put like, oh, Rey's a lesbian, and it's like,
yeah.
bro, like,
Well, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't really care even if she was, but
I know, but it's just like
even
I don't care about who somebody likes. Like with Anakin and Padme, I know it was like part of the story, but like you never knew who Obi-Wan liked until they put it inside the
Clone Wars.
Wars
Yeah, that
show.
was actually kind of interesting when they did that for sure.
Because like I just don't care who you like. I don't care if you're lesbian. I don't care if you're straight. Just I care about the story, you know. And I don't know
Well,
why
like,
they
I
gotta
feel
put
like
that
when
in there.
Force Awakens came out, it was like 50-50, and then like, when I first watched it, I was like, yeah, that was pretty decent. And then the more and more I thought about it, like, the more, like annoyed I got with the movie. Because all what that movie is about is, taking some of your favorite characters, like Han Solo and Leia, and like, everyone you like, except for maybe Chewie. Chewie's kind of like always the same throughout those movies, and just turning them into pathetic losers, with the ultimate example also being Luke. Like, what the heck happened?
I don't know when they got a hold of Luke's character and they're just like, let's make him the lamest guy in the universe.
He doesn't go back in action, like literally. He just and also Disney decides to do a bunch of dumb things with the Force that was just never possible in the previous movies.
Yeah, and then like
Like,
that little kid. Remember in the end of the
oh, when the
the
little
eighth
kid,
movie, when
yeah,
the little kid just
yeah,
like picks up the broom without any training, and it's like, what?
that was pretty dumb.
I'm so glad that like Ryan Johnson wasn't allowed to
Do the
make
third
any
movie.
more. Yeah, because
Well,
he
like,
would have made them awful, dude.
why do people? Okay, sure. Like, people are like, yeah, the movie's decent. Yeah, if you're not a Star Wars fan, the movie's decent.
I
If you
know.
didn't like, if you hated the prequels, then sure, then maybe it's a decent movie to you. But like, the prequels were like my favorite ones, and so obviously I'm gonna have, you know, it's just so.
Yeah, well, it feels like a lot of things that they did with the horses in episode 9. It just kind of felt
Oh,
like
dude.
it felt like they were just sitting in a room and they're like, "What can we do to make people be like, what the crap is that?" And it's like, "Let's add horses into space." And then they travel on the horses instead of the speeders the
Oh
whole
yeah,
time.
dude, and here's the thing too, like, it was happening in like that third movie, right, where they're all in
Mhm.
all the Star Destroyers and they're riding horses. Which, wouldn't the commander at the ship just be able to tilt the ship and
And
then
they'd fall off. Like,
yeah,
bro, like the whole movie sucks, dude.
uh,
I mean,
that third
episode 9 was better than episode 8 because episode 8 was just
episode
nothing
okay,
happened.
episode 8 was like kind of political. Like, you can't deny that one, especially with
Yeah.
that one purple head lady.
Yeah.
Like, she was one of the most annoying movie characters I ever watched in a theater.
And then she's like, I gotta kill myself to save the others. And it's like, well, why don't you just, like, leave a droid behind to control the ship?
Well, like, the whole reason, like, remember, I say a solid, like, half of that movie is just them stuck in that ship
Mm-hmm.
and getting chased. So, like, it's like too simple of a movie. There's, like, not much that happens in that movie at all.
Hmm.
And then you kill freaking Snoke, who should have been like the main villain of like those three movies. But no, they have to bring back Palpatine again. And it doesn't make sense how you get thrown into an endless like void, explode, and then the Death Star explodes
So you
too.
explode twice.
Yeah, so like and you still survive that and then they say, "Oh, it was a clone, it was a clone." I'm like, "What? What?" That doesn't make any sense. Like
I know.
they're like they're just coming up with these new terms to try to like hose down all these fires like he transferred his essence.
He transferred his. Yeah.
Like what does that even mean? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I know. It's like right before he died. The reason why he exploded is because that was him
And then
transferring his essence
and then the
to his
last
clone.
like I remember okay, so I will say some of like I think out of all the sequels, the best one was definitely the last one, I guess. Just because I had a bunch of nodbacks to like the previous original trilogies, and so you watch that, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. They should have been doing that for like the entire trilogy, but it is what it is. And then it was okay, maybe our junior year. So this was like before like we got locked down in 2020,
Hmm.
and it was after our Christmas banquet, and that it was in like some fancy like hotel in Whitefish or something.
Yeah, like I mean, it's super fancy that
Yeah,
year.
I know you didn't go, but like me and like almost everyone else went because
Hmm.
we didn't want to go freaking ice skating. Like that would have been boring.
Yeah, I just went home.
Like I've
I
never
did.
been interested in that kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So we went to Star Wars, and I feel like most of us were enjoying the movie, and then like I think the one like straw that broke the camel's back in terms of the enjoyment aspect was when Rey called herself like Rey Skywalker.
Yeah. She's like, I'm gonna change my name, and it's like, what?
Well, like that kind of proves my point that like Rey shouldn't have been in there. They had like no plan with her. They didn't know what they were doing. They were just like, we'll make her Palpatine's granddaughter, which then raises more questions. First of all, who's the grandmother? Who's the father? And who's the mother? Like that doesn't
Like,
make any sense.
is the father the clone, or is the father Palpatine himself? And then
Yeah, like how would that make any
and then
sense?
earlier on, they have like a flashback where she sees
Like
her
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 parents.
parents, which is not Palpatine and this other lady,
It's
getting
just
taken
two
away.
random people.
Yeah, then they're like,
It's so dumb. Like, what were they think? They should have not used her character at all. The main like character should have just been Ben Solo, and plus he was like the best part of those movies anyway, since he was actually like decently written. I mean, they could have done better, but
and Adam Driver is like a really good actor too.
yeah,
So. Yeah. Anyway, so that's like when Disney first started to go
yeah.
downhill.
And this was like before. I mean, I feel like 2017, 2018 was like when Disney went through like their whole feminism phase, so like every character was like a strong, powerful woman, that kind of BS.
Hmm.
And it was just
Which I mean, I don't care if you have a story with a strong, powerful woman.
well,
It's like
that's happened before.
don't like shove it in my face, you know? Like
Yeah,
she's
no.
strong, she's powerful.
Well, I mean,
It's
like the original Star Wars had characters like that with Leia and Padme. You know, they did
Yeah, I
very
know.
they contributed pretty heavily to the story actually, but they don't like shove it in your face, just like how
They don't shove the male characters in your face either.
yeah.
It's just like this is a dude that does what he needs to do, and this is a girl that does what she needs to do and stuff.
Well, no, all what they do with the male characters now, except for like Kylo Ren, is like they just make him a bunch of like comedic like jokes, like clowns, like clowns actually.
Yeah, like Thor
They run the entire circus.
in the new Thor movie.
Oh, we'll get to that like later.
He's
But, oh
just
my
like-
god, we can't.
it's
I can't,
bad, dude.
dude. Disney really messed up with that character too.
I mean,
So that's kind of like the sequels. Why the sequels were just that bad, and then I think after the sequels, like we had like a couple years, um, where like they actually pumped out some like decent content. Um, you know, with the new season of Clone Wars, that was pretty good. I'd say.
yeah, because they brought
like Ahsoka back. They brought
us
back
And then
Darth
the
Maul,
director of it was the original director too. And then they also brought George Lucas in.
and Dave Filoni's like good at everything like he works on.
And George Lucas had like his own intake on everything too.
And then the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian were also really good too. And I think okay, now where they started to fall off again was Boba Fett. Like I didn't really enjoy Boba Fett that much, and it's like I don't really know like what to say. Like it just didn't really catch my interest because like every episode it was like half of it was a bunch of useless flashbacks and then the other half was just him in Tatooine having meetings with a bunch of gangsters and that stupid spin thing that one character did. And then you introduce like and then you have like one of the greatest episodes ever with the one with Luke and stuff. And then for a while it's like not a Boba Fett show anymore. Which was kind of funny.
I don't know, it just turns into Mandalorian season 3 there for a little
but like
bit.
here's the problem I have with the whole Mandalorian part of that. He gets Grogu back like instantly. Like I thought what I was thinking is like maybe in season 3 he wouldn't have him anymore and there would be like a long while before he saw Grogu again. I feel like that would have been like more rewarding story-wise to do. You know, have him like train with Luke like a lot longer and stuff. Then once he's ready, he sees Mandalorian again. But like even then, that still never, like it was just like okay, I'm back with Mando again, and I was just like, okay.
I know, like it's just dumb.
And that was, and then this next Star Wars TV show was probably the one I was most excited for. I think you know which one I'm talking about too.
Yeah, Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and I think that's the one everyone was most excited for anyway. Because like, I mean, how could you not? I mean, when you see Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor again.
Yeah, like
I mean, how can you not get excited?
If you
for
like
that?
the prequels, then you're gonna like Obi-Wan.
Eh,
But then they just like, I mean, it was a good show, but I just felt like it was too kind of rushed a little bit.
They should have made it into like a movie.
Yeah, only having the 6 episodes, and then the whole time frame was in like 2 months or something like that. So
Something like
it was
that.
just like a super teensy part of his time. I was hoping that they would do like maybe a couple years or something.
That would have been interesting. Well, that's the problem with all this like Disney Plus, with a lot of Disney Plus shows. They keep doing these like, oh, experience this 6-episode event, and I'm like, what are you talking
I know,
about?
like little mini series and something like that, and it's like, and then they're like, each episode's gonna be an hour long, so
They gave us 38 minutes.
You get 6 hours of content, and then at the end of it, we only had like 4 hours of like actual Obi-Wan or something like that.
Yeah,
like
which was so dumb.
they cheesed us out of 2 hours of Obi-Wan.
And they kept, and for some reason, instead of like focusing on your main characters, you have the freaking Inquisitors.
Which, I mean, the Inquisitors, I know that they're in Rebels, and they were like okay in Rebels. It was just kind of disappointing to see them again in Obi-Wan, just because it's like the show's not called Obi-Wan and the Inquisitors. It's Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan comes with
like
Anakin.
How often did Obi-Wan ever like encounter the Inquisitors like beforehand?
He never did beforehand. Like he hid away on Tatooine, and then this is like
And
the
also,
story of him and the
apparently-
Inquisitors.
So apparently, when the show was being written, it was gonna be more of a character study, like a Joker or Logan, which, like, that would have been good. Like if they made a movie like that.
That's kind of how the first episode was a little bit. But then they just like went off into like oh, he's sad and he's depressed and he doesn't have any powers. Yeah.
And then in episode 4, he's just bam, just like that again. I'm like, what?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
He just wakes up one day and like, oh, the Force. That's right. I can use it.
And then he's just killing Storm. By the way, that 4th episode was so stupid. Like, it was just so dumb. The fact that one lady got away with slapping a stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah. And then the dude like, ooh, and like falls down all goofy looking.
Or when she like grabs a gun, the dude is like too far away. Well, no, he's like really close to where he could easily disarm her or punch her. But no, he has like both of his hands out like a like a donkey or whatever.
Like he's T-posing.
Well, not a donkey, but yeah, like they're NPCs. They're not even real people. And then Reva. Oh, I guess now it's time to bring in Reva.
Well, like, I don't have a problem with the character Reva, or like, let's have a black female character that's evil. I don't care if she's black. I don't. It's just that
but
she was so
that's
annoying.
the
dude.
reason. That's the reason that Disney brought her in, was for equity reasons. Because
I
that's
know.
all what they care about these
But
days.
if they made her character good, then I wouldn't care. But
they didn't.
Her character was ass. It's just like, I'm gonna get in the way in every turn. I'm gonna be in
Yeah,
the way.
so here's how like that whole story goes with her. She's a youngling. She gets stabbed by Anakin. Somehow survives, by the way. Like, how does she survive as a kid?
And Anakin remembers her too. He's not just like, oh,
Yeah,
Reva, who's
like
that?
Anakin that was the weird thing too. Like Anakin, like Vader just let Reva try to infiltrate.
Yeah.
The Vader I would have snapped her neck on the spot. Like, he gets so triggered when, if anyone
knows who he is.
knows who he actually is, because he just hates it that much.
Yeah, it's like.
But he just lets her infiltrate. And I remember I was watching the 4th episode, and then Vader like gets super mad, and he lifts her up with the Force and starts choking her, and I was like, yes, do it. And then he didn't do it because she put a tracker on the ship, and it was just like.
It's like, bro, but
Whatever.
she failed though, dude.
Multiple times, by the way. And she, like, killed the other Inquisitor. And then the stupid thing is, like, she tries to kill Vader. Bro, like, we all knew that she wouldn't stand a chance against Vader at all.
And then he stabs her again.
In the same spot.
And then he just lets her live. He
And
doesn't
then-
even, like, kill
And then
her.
everyone on Twitter's like, actually, the reason is she's alive and Qui-Gon isn't is because she used the dark side. And I'm like, no, she didn't. Like, as far as I know, her eyes never turned yellow, first of all, which is an instant red flag. You're not part of the dark side unless you, like, actually become part of the dark side. And she was infiltrating them. That's what she was planning to do the whole time. So
Yeah,
she
and,
never
like,
turned
I don't
evil.
understand how the story works though, because it's like she's infiltrating and Darth Vader knows, but he lets her
And
do it
then-
without a plan. He's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'll just let Reva do this. He doesn't really have a plan to use her or anything like that. I mean, I guess he kind of ends up using her because she finds Obi-Wan, but he didn't even know that for like the last 20 years or whatever, 10 years, I don't know.
Mhm.
And then,
I think, yeah, 10 years-ish around there.
so he like lets her live twice, and then she goes and they have that dumbass chase scene with her and Luke, and it's like, well,
That was so...
obviously Luke's not gonna die.
Well, the whole thing, like, first of all, she somehow finds a way back to Tatooine, even though, like, the entire Empire left, and I would assume they took all their ships
Yeah, she
with
doesn't
her,
even have
too.
a ship. Like,
And then, like, so, like, half of the final episode is, it's a pretty decent fight between Obi-Wan and Vader. I could have gone without the camera shake, which, by the way, that camera shake,
oh,
like,
dude.
sometimes it worked, like, in the final episode with some of the close-ups, but, like, other times it didn't work because
Like, you
Obi-Wan
can't-
would be randomly talking while sitting in the back of his camel, and the camera would just be shaking
I know,
for
like,
no
you can't
reason.
see anything. It's like hurting my brain watching it shake.
It
like that.
literally does too.
It's
Like,
like,
there's just
bro,
some,
I
like,
hate
my
it.
eyes like straight up hurt because like they're working too hard to
I feel
try to
like
concentrate.
I feel like that's why I started watching Breaking Bad after that. That's probably why Breaking Bad was like so nice just to watch, because the camera was nice and smooth and like steady throughout the entire show of Better Call
And like
Saul
you
and
can
Breaking
have
Bad.
you can have like yeah, and you don't need a camera shake to make scenes intense. Breaking Bad gets like the most intense like at the end of season 4. Like I
Mhm.
still stand by that, especially like after Skylar gave the money to Ted, and then he
Yeah.
had a complete meltdown at the end.
Yeah.
That was
But like in Obi-Wan, they just have the camera shaking the entire, like every scene there's a camera shake. And it's just like, it's hard to even watch
Yeah.
the whole
But
show.
like half of that episode, yeah, it's the Obi-Wan Vader stuff, and then the other half of the episode is Reva versus Luke and Luke's aunt and uncle. And like the whole time you're watching this, you're like, you don't feel any suspense because like
They're not gonna die.
they're not gonna die.
They're in a movie.
And also, if Luke like saw Reva's lightsaber, that technically breaks canon because he's never
He's never seen a lightsaber before.
until like Ben like
Until-
showed him.
Until Ben's like, this is your father's lightsaber buzz, and he's like, whoa.
Yeah, and then like at the end of the episode, she finally decides to turn good again for some reason, and then she like starts like, and then she gets like all upset, and Obi-Wan has the audacity to say like, "Oh, you've honored your friends by not killing Luke," and I'm like, "You hung another Jedi like a week before."
She's killed
That,
like
many
tens
Jedi.
of Jedi.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think just because you choose to spare one doesn't mean you've honored all the like. I bet all
And
these other
Luke's
Jedi
not
are
even a
like
Jedi. He's just some little kid.
all those other Jedi are just in the afterlife. Like, am I a joke to you?
Like literally, because she's killing all of them for years, and then finally at the end she's like, "I'm crying, Obi-Wan," and he's just like, "Oh, it's okay."
That's why like I actually have nothing against that actress though, because like I think for what material she was given, she did like a pretty good job, because like on paper like the character has like not much to her, but the actress at least like gave some depth to her in a way. It was just like it was so poorly portrayed, and now that kind of goes in with all the criticisms that was thrown at her. So basically, there was a bunch of people on Twitter who were like, you know what, I don't really like her character because of this and that, and she's kind of annoying. And I'm like, yeah, she was annoying. Like that was the whole. I feel like that was the whole point. Like even the when Vader and the Inquisitors find her annoying, how can I not find her annoying too? And then, fucking.
And then Disney's just like, "Oh, the racist fan base doesn't like her because she's black."
Even the lead actor himself like put out a video saying, uh, you know, it's the racist fan base. Like that's
like,
how they
no.
feel about you.
There's plenty of black characters that I like.
Like Lando,
Finn's dope.
Finn kind of peaked in Force Awakens. I kind of liked him the most there. He kind of fell off after
Well, it just felt like the story wasn't like he wasn't part of the story after that. It almost feels like.
Yeah, and he could have like that actor's also great too. John Boyega, I think that's his name. But yeah, Finn was awesome.
Like I don't have any problem with black characters. It's just that her character was bad. Like she did a great job acting, and the actor herself is great.
But yeah, once we have any criticisms about the actual character, this multi-billion-dollar company has the audacity to tweet at us and be like, "F off, you Nazi!" Like
I'm not complaining about her. I'm complaining about the director and whoever wrote the script.
Oh yeah, the director. I have a cute I don't
like
she directed that show like garbage. Like
I know
like the more I think of it, like just the more upsetting it was for me to think about. Cause like you were kind of like warning me before the show came out too. You're like, but the director sucks, and I'm like, oh well, I guess we'll see until when we see it. And you were kind of right. Like the director like didn't do that.
Well, I know
good.
she sucks because when she was making, or when they had interviews about it before, she's like, well, we're gonna try to do like something new for this Star Wars one or something like that.
Oh, so.
And then, well, she was trying to. I don't even know if she's even seen the original Star Wars. I don't know if that was her or the guy that played the Inquisitor. Was like, I've never even seen the original Star Wars.
That was the guy who played the Grand Inquisitor. And honestly, I didn't have a problem with the Grand
Inquisitor. Yeah, he did a pretty good job.
I thought he was pretty decent. But like, okay, so let's just say, fine, if you don't want to use the Inquisitors, but you have to have another side character. You know the side character I would use is Darth Maul, who is an actual like Obi-Wan villain.
And he's still alive.
The guy who killed your master. Like, and that would have been perfect to use. But no, they just cut him out of the show for some reason.
They got the original Darth Maul guy back, and they had him just like show up all menacingly.
Oh, also, by the way,
dude.
how is Disney gonna be this stupid? Whatever marketing team Disney has, how stupid are they for putting Duel the freaking Fates in your trailer, only to not use that all in the show?
I know, and then putting Duel of the Fates in the trailer almost suggests that maybe they'll have Darth Maul back because that's his song is.
Yeah, that's like his song.
Like yeah.
And then no, it's just the Inquisitors, which.
I mean, the Grand Inquisitor was fine, and he was like the best Inquisitor, and then they kill him. Oh, kill him.
They kill him. But yeah.
And then you don't see him anymore in the
and
entire
then he
show.
came back.
And then he comes back at the end and is like, stupid child, and it's like, bro, like, where were you? Like, I'd rather have him be the main bad guy instead of Reva, because Reva's so shallow and she doesn't have any character arc at all. It's just, I hate Anakin, so I'm gonna kill Obi-Wan so I can get closer to Anakin. And it's just, I don't know, it's dumb.
And then, freaking I can't. I'm like almost lost for words right now. Just going on. I don't think I've ever gone on an angry rant about the show ever since like it came out. And okay, I want to end it off with Qui-Gon actually, cause like, okay, yes, it was nice to see Qui-Gon again. He's like one of my favorite Star Wars characters. It's good stuff, really. But he only showed up as like a little cameo.
I don't know, he shows up at the end and was like, I've been waiting for you. And it's like, come on, Qui-Gon.
Like, he could have shown up so many times before. Like, he should have been another, like, important role. Like, here's my thing. Like, I'm tired of cameos. Like, actually have him contribute to the show. Like, let's take the new Spider-Man movie. Like, they didn't throw Toby and Andrew back in. Just so, oh, it's a cameo. But they actually, like, written out a decent story arc for
like,
both
they
of
actually
them.
fought with, let's see, what's his name? Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Like, they actually all fought together and stuff and had, like, a little, we gotta work as a team thing going. But, yeah, in Star Wars...
You even had a whole freaking redemption arc for Andrew's Spider-Man after he saves, Zendaya.
Yeah.
And then... So, like, that's a good way to use them. Not having Qui-Gon show up just for, like, 2 YouTubers to cry while watching the live watch party.
What's that guy's name? Star Wars Theory?
Yeah.
It's so funny watching him sometimes. He's got, like, his workout videos, and he's just, like, pumping this heavy metal and, like, getting this mega lift going.
Yeah.
And then an hour later, he's crying to Qui-Gon showing up in Star Wars.
That's pretty funny, yeah. And, yeah, like, they could have used him throughout the... I feel like the perfect episode... Like, episode 4 would have been the perfect episode to, like, keep it an hour long. Like, here's my pitch for how episode 4 would go. It would just be... Like, first of all, I wouldn't have... I would have completely cut out the whole Leia storyline. Because I thought that was kind of dumb.
I mean, it was fine. It's just, like, she didn't really... She just kind of got in the way of Obi-Wan and Vader fighting.
Yeah, really.
And then that slow chase scene with her and the bounty hunters or whatever.
And how one of them was like tripping all over the rocks and stuff.
Like, so she was going like 2 miles an hour, and they're like, "Oh no, we can't catch up to her." And then they like hit into
one of them like literally ran into a branch.
Like, no, like it was so dumb. Like just watching it, and I'm like, it's oh my gosh, bro, terrible stuff. And then they're trying to make her seem as if like, oh, Leia is she's so bossy and she's so like strong, powerful, and it's like, well, she's like 6.
Okay,
that's the other thing. 10,
that's the other thing I was gonna bring up too. So remember when Reva had her and she was trying to do mind tricks, dude? Reva is so weak in the Force that she can't probe a Leia who's 10 years old and has no existence or knowledge of the Force whatsoever.
At all. And then, like, Leia doesn't even feel it. She's like,
is this a staring contest?
It's like, what the frig, dude? Like
I even like tweeted about that. Like, lol, like Reva's so weak in the Force she can't mind probe.
Like Reva contributes nothing to the story. She's just there to be the strong black evil character, and then even then she's not strong, and she's not evil in the end. Well, it's just let's throw a black character in there for no reason. It's like I'm okay with throwing a black character in there, but like the character sucks. Like they didn't do anything. It was like a waste of a character almost. They could have did so much more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole episode 4, like, that could have been, like, your hour-long episode. But it wasn't. It was, like, 38 minutes. Especially after that whole aftermath between, like, Vader, like, almost killing Obi-Wan straight up. And then, like, you could have had him... Like, it should have been more of, like, you know, Obi-Wan, like, fully recovers and trains and gets back into like who he
Yeah, it
is,
has like a
and
Rocky
it would have been
montage.
that would have been the perfect episode for that, and it would have made sense too, and also like that also would have been the perfect episode to have Qui-Gon chip in there too.
Yeah, I know. Be like, Obi-Wan, you gotta get your strength back up. You
Yeah.
know, be like encouraging to him.
Mhm.
But instead, it's just like the next day he's like, "Oh yeah, the Force, yeah," and it's like, bro, like it's so lame, dude.
Yeah, and then like I would have split that episode 50-50. I would have had half of it being like Obi-Wan and then the other half being like Vader stuff and then just kind of alternating between the two. I would have had like Vader like try like visit Padme. Um well I mean she's dead, but like where Padme was like buried, I think. I would have him just visit like Naboo. Uh
Well, I just wish that they would have, like the whole show, they would have had
and
Anakin and Obi-Wan like back and forth, like a Vader Obi-Wan. The whole show should have just been one half Obi-Wan, one half Vader, and then at the end they do a big fight after fighting each other.
yeah. And by the way, like the location where they fought was like kind of lame because it was just a rock. They fight in a giant rock. That was literally it. Like I thought they were gonna fight in like on like Mustafar again. That would have been cool. And I guess to finally cap it all off with that show, because we've been like kind of ranting at that show for a while, is they didn't use any Star Wars music at all.
Well, they made like new music, and the new music was ass, dude. It was just bad. And it was like that final fight scene with Obi-Wan and Vader, and when they had that new music going, and it was like it didn't even feel like fight music. It was just it wasn't Star Warsy feeling at
There's
all.
actually this YouTube video of someone who like completely like re-uploaded the fight scene, but like put like the real Star Wars music in it, and it's actually pretty good. I should send you a link to that because it's like a million times better than what they originally did. But yeah, there's like no Star Wars music, so it didn't even like it's crazy like how a lack of Star Wars music just doesn't make it feel like a Star Wars show at all.
Well, because the Star Wars music in the original just kind of like made it the show. That was like one of the biggest things about it was, oh, dude, the music is amazing. It really gets you in the setting, and that's how most shows are. Like if you don't have good music, then it just doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like if you take away the music and most shows, it's just gonna feel wrong. That's why most of the time you don't like a good
Or
music is.
if you're like Breaking Bad, you use it when it's needed. Because Breaking Bad doesn't use a lot of music in the show. Like sometimes it'll just go straight up without it, but it's still so good because when it uses intense music, it like that's when it like gets super intense. You
Like,
know stuff is about to go down.
yeah, the way that you're supposed to use music in a show or in a movie or anything like that is that they put the music in and the viewer doesn't really even notice that music is playing because it fits well with the whole scene.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Obi-Wan, the final fight, it was like I could tell that I was like, man, this music is ass. Like,
Yeah,
it was
it was
bad.
pretty bad.
Like I knew that music was
And like
going on,
I
and I
was
knew that
saying
it
the whole
sucked.
time, they didn't even need to make new music. All what they needed were songs from Revenge of the Sith, and that was it. And they couldn't even do that. So I don't know. I feel like that kind of ends the whole Obi-Wan rant I'm willing to go on.
Yeah, we should
And
get into maybe like Marvel
um well,
because
I actually want to bring up a couple like decent Star Wars stuff that they've been doing, and that's in terms of their video games. I feel like they've been doing good in terms of their video games, like with the new Jedi Fallen Order game. I think they've been doing very good there. They've made like pretty good stories, and they've used like older Star Wars music in those scenes too, while creating new ones for the new characters, which makes sense. Um, so yeah, that's a really good game. I'm looking forward to the new one. The new Lego Star Wars, it was good, but I didn't play through the sequel movies because I just don't
yeah,
like I hate those movies so much to the point where I won't even play like those levels in the game because of how much like how disgusted I feel
yeah, we
from.
tried to play through episode 8 once. Remember that?
Oh, that was the
And it
worst.
was like the movie was so lame that the Lego Star Wars like kind of made fun of how lame it was, and then they also like the objectives that you had to do throughout
those were
They were
lame
like
too.
so tedious.
The
And it was
the
like, oh my
objectives
gosh.
the objectives were like, we need to find the battery for the starship, and I was like,
The
what?
starship.
And I was
Yeah.
like, what is going on? But yeah, that's it for the Star Wars stuff. I guess moving on to the Marvel stuff. So where did Marvel like fall off?
They
And
fell
that
off after
Endgame.
Endgame.
They fell off after Endgame.
Endgame was like cool. It was like, yeah, kill Thanos, let's go. Like honestly, they should have just ended Marvel right there, probably,
That would have been for the best.
and
But
then
then,
started something new. Like the reason why Disney sucks nowadays is because they're rehashing everything.
hmm
Let's make Star Wars. Let's do it again. Let's just make so much Star Wars content that people don't even want to watch Star Wars anymore. Let's make so much Marvel content that nobody even wants to watch Marvel anymore.
oh yeah, I'm not okay.
Let's remake all of our old movies like The Little Mermaid.
Oh, dude. Okay, we. Oh my gosh, we'll get to that later. That is a pretty hot topic, though. Well, kind of treading back to the Marvel stuff, where they kind of fell off. Like they kind of. Okay, so I think after Endgame, like another Spider-Man movie came out that made $1 billion. You know, that was an okay movie. Um, you know, and yeah, it was what it was. After that movie, COVID hit, and we didn't have content for like an entire year.
Hmm.
Uh,
And then like all this woke crap started happening. It was
yeah,
like we have to have social justice, and it's like, bro.
yeah, and then
And
so
then they
then
started making
the
all their
first
movies like
the
that.
first thing that came out was the WandaVision show. Now I thought it was actually okay. I just think the final episode kind of botched it a bit, cause like the villain reveal was kind of lame. Like it should have had like another big villain, but because everyone was hyping that up, but then it ended up not happening. But you know, for what it was okay.
And then
And then Black Widow came out
well,
afterward.
what's the guy's name? Vision or whatever.
Yeah, Vision is now.
Yeah, Vision, like he flies away.
Oh
And then
yeah,
you never.
cause
It's been like
cause
2
he,
years.
yeah,
And you
cause
never
he's
see him.
cause he's a white Vision now. Yeah, they could have brought him back for the new Doctor Strange
Yeah, they
movie.
could have totally put him in Doctor Strange. Like I was kind of while watching Doctor Strange, I was like, they should have Vision come back and stop Wanda, and then make Wanda good again.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, they're just like, no, it was America Chavez. Yeah, she used
Yeah.
her special power that she just
Dude,
happened to
the
have
whole
one day.
the lamest thing about like there were like so many like little woke indications on there. Like it wasn't like a woke movie. Like I feel like that would be too much of a stretch. But, like the one line in the movie is like, actually the food is free in this universe. And I'm like,
The food's free in like most universes. It's just kind of like this one that doesn't. They're like, what? Like,
no, like what do you?
Like farmers gotta work to make the food, bro. Like,
And then
have
you
you ever
gotta
worked on a
pay.
farm? It's hard working on a farm, dude.
Yeah,
I get-
it's
Like I got paid pretty decent when I worked on a farm, and I still didn't want to do it. It was people. You got to pay people a lot to have to work on a farm because it's hard.
and
to
also
get
like
food.
the product from like a decent farm is like really good. Like the bread and the corn and everything. Like you can
Yeah.
get some really high quality like farmers products, and like those have to like cost something. Otherwise, like the consumers are just gonna take up all those goods,
I
and
know,
then there's
like-
gonna be no more goods. Like, do they not understand blockchain at all?
Like
in
people,
that
people
you-
don't work for free. Like that's not a
This-
thing.
It's like so that whole universe is basically China, because
What-
like every every like Chinese civilians like, oh well, our government pays for everything. I'm like, where do you think the government gets their money from? It's from like half of your salary.
I
Like,
know, and then
like-
it's like they don't realize that the last time that farmers had to farm for free, it was slavery. It's like bro.
Yeah, and so like they basically encourage slavery in the new Doctor Strange
I know
movie.
they're encouraging slavery because these farmers should get us food for free. It's like cotton fields all over again, bro. Like what the frick?
Yeah, that was pretty dumb, but and also like they threw in like that was Phase 4 was like their cameo thing, because like everything is all multiverse and all that, and like at first I was excited about that, like, and there were times where it did work, and there were other times where it did not work at all. A time where it did work was the new Spider-Man movie, because they brought back because they actually had a reason like why the older villains came back.
Mhm.
There wasn't. It didn't really make sense though why the other like Toby and Andrew came back though. Like
Yeah, they just-
that didn't really
They
make
just
any
kind of
sense.
happened to walk through the portal. And then,
Yeah,
like,
which was cool. You know, it was still nice to see them. I'm not really. I guess you're not gonna hear me complain that much about that though, because I wanted to see them. And so like, how can I? Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
like
I wasn't
complain.
upset about that.
Yeah.
But like some of the bad things about the multiverse, like Loki was okay because that's the one that like brought the multiverse in. So I don't really
But
have
yeah,
anything to
that
say
one
about
actually
Loki.
gave a decent explanation.
Yeah,
Like, and by the way, Loki was like the best Disney Plus show for sure. Like,
he's good. And then they haven't made another one yet. I
I
don't
I think season 2 comes out next year.
like it. Better be good. I like if I swear if they make it bad, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
because everything that's come out has been so bad recently. Like the last year has just been bad show after bad show,
Well, I
and
think no, I
bad
think
movie.
this is the year where bad show after bad shows come out. Last year it was like mediocre to me, mediocre. But then Black Widow comes out too after WandaVision, and that movie, like I say the first like 2/3 of the movie was good, but then the last part of the movie was like a bad CGI third act, and her freaking sister throws a pipe down like some kind of like, I don't know, engine,
And it explodes.
and she's still alive and all that. And so yeah, that was all lame. The villain was kind of lame, and also um like there was no point, like they should have released that movie like before like Infinity, before like Endgame came out, because like we all knew that she was gonna be dead anyway.
Yeah, like there was no feeling for the
And
movie
then
because it was just
freaking
like,
Scarlett Johansson is like, oh man, was like so salty that the movie made like no money, that she ended up suing Disney
well,
because
the
of.
reason why is because Disney put it out on Disney Plus instead of in theaters.
Well, they did it on both
I
actually.
know, but she got less money from theaters because people could just stay home and watch it on Disney Plus. Why would you go to the theater? So then, and most of her money comes from when people go to the theater and watch it.
Yeah,
So
cause,
she
cause
sued them
you get
because,
like a certain amount of like the box office numbers.
and
That's not.
she sued them because they told her that, oh yeah, it's just gonna come out in theaters for a little while, but it never had its own
Yeah,
exclusive theaters.
I think, yeah, that part makes sense to me. However, I heard some like rumors saying that she wanted to make like 100 million. Like that's how much she thought she deserved to get paid.
Hmm.
Was like 100 million. I'm like, I'm looking at that and I'm like, Robert Downey Jr. did only got paid like 75 million, and you were
Hmm.
not nearly as cool as Robert Downey
I
Jr.
know, like
Like I don't. Very few actors are. Like, I think.
Iron Man was just good, and then they killed like
But
when
when
they
they
killed
killed,
Iron Man,
like,
Marvel died. Like it was just bad after
Marvel
that.
died with him.
Marvel died with Iron Man, dude.
Yeah. Um. I mean. Yeah. I mean, really, where I'm holding out hope the most is with, if they make like more Spider-Man movies and make them good, not the freaking Morbius stuff and Morbin time stuff, but I think
Dude, I'm ready for Morbius too, bro.
okay, not gonna lie, Morbius was better than the new Thor movie, and that's saying something.
Well,
Cause
Morbius was
Morbius, you can actually laugh at, like the freaking dance scene where the guy's doing push-ups and then dancing, and yeah, that stupid song playing in the background. Like that was funnier than any other Thor: Love and Thunder joke. Like in Love and Thunder was like a bad case of 2008 Vine. Like think about the worst vines from 2012, and then put them all together and then have them on repeat 5 times
I know,
a day.
repeat throughout the entire. It's like the friggin' goat scream.
Yeah, dude, the goats.
I was
Oh
dying
my
with
gosh,
the
the
goats.
goats.
I hated the goats
Dude,
so much.
there were so many like Homelander memes of him just staring at the movie theater
Yeah.
screen as like the ringing buzz is in the background.
With the
Because
goats.
the goats were
Oh,
screaming like all the freaking
I
time.
know, they're like. I don't know who made the movie and was just like, dude, screaming goats, big loud noises in a theater. Let's throw it in there. It's gonna be sick. Like it was awful, dude.
And
Just
that was
awful.
like, that movie was also woke garbage too.
I know, it was like they turned the rock guy gay, which I don't care. And then Valkyrie,
Valkyrie's like not wearing any dresses, which just threw me off
and she's a
guard.
lesbian, and like all the Valkyries were lesbian, like
But
all of
like
them were.
you know for a fact, like if you want to integrate it in there, have it in there for like a story reason. Don't have it in there just to have it in there.
I
Like
know.
give it a purpose at least. Like I would respect Disney if they actually like committed to something like that, instead of like just having it in there so that they can cut it out for like international screenings in like China and stuff, because I think
Yeah.
there's like many countries that like don't allow that kind of stuff. which I find is a little funny actually how America does, but like other countries like don't allow that stuff. And in fact, like China actually wanted No Way like people who worked on No Way Home to like remove the Statue of Liberty, but they decided not to do that. So I don't think the new Spider-Man movie was ever in China, just because the Statue of Liberty was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which, man, I would hate to live there now.
Yeah, I just feel like with that movie, they like I don't care if you had a gay character in, but can you at least like give them an actual reason for being gay instead of just like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm gay. Now let's go fight some people.
Yeah.
It's like what they're throwing it in there for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's trash.
That's the same thing with the whole Lightyear situation, in which, like, let me tell you something. When Disney decides to play stupid games and integrate woke stuff, like, things have been going so far left and so far woke that, like all of us normal people are like, okay, you know what? We're not watching this crap anymore. We're done.
Well,
and so that's
who,
why Lightyear crashed and burned.
People
like,
who aren't gay, like, don't really want to watch it. And it's like, it's not because I'm homophobic. It's just because it's not what I'm into. Like, that's not my preference.
Yeah. And
like,
so,
I'm not gay, so why would I watch something that is gay? Just, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's like not something I'm attracted to or appeal to. Like, it's just not.
And then, like, have you ever seen the movie?
Lightyear?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
So Lightyear goes off on missions, right? And he comes back, and it's like his best friend's this girl, and she's a lesbian. And so he like goes off to a mission, then he comes back, and she's married. And then he goes off to a mission, and he comes back, and then they have a kid. So she has a boy, and then he comes back on a mission. And he goes off on a mission. He comes back, and then the boy is gay and has a boyfriend. And he goes away. He comes back again.
Bro,
and then
what?
Then the boy and his husband.
That is worse than I thought.
Has a kid. So like, lesbians have a boy, and then the gay people have a child, and it's like, that's not how biology works. Like, you can't just be like, I want a child.
I mean, did they look like the two?
I mean, yeah, they were like their kid, bro.
That
like they just went against all biology and everything. And it's like anybody who studies biology at all, like all you got to do is take A&P1, and you realize that there's only two genders, bro.
Yeah, you only have to like take a biology class in college.
Like there's only two like models of the human being. One with a penis and one without a penis. And then like those are the two models. Like you can't get the friggin' deluxe supreme version that has like
the combo pack.
Yeah, like you can't get the combo pack.
The double quarter pounder with cheese.
Double quarter gender with cheese.
Oh god, no. That actually might be a thing now. I don't know,
bro, but like it just
wow, that's actually worse than I thought. Like I thought it was just for like one kiss scene, but no, apparently.
Well, yeah, there is one kiss scene, but
the whole story,
every time he comes back, it's something new.
Dude, okay, that I actually did not know that. That is so weird.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to watch it, but
I don't want to watch it, dude. Okay, speaking of stuff I don't want to watch, I just don't want to watch any more Disney stuff. For like, I don't I don't want to watch any more Star Wars stuff.
Unless that new Star Wars Andor show is coming out or whatever, and like.
Yeah.
I don't really care about it. It's like I don't really want to watch it anymore because they ruin everything.
The only thing I want to watch is Tales of the Jedi, because that one actually looks pretty good, and it's like it shows you like a backstory of like Count Dooku, so that should be interesting.
Well, yeah, if they had a backstory for like all the Jedi, I kind of wish that they had like a Palpatine backstory, like how did he become
like Tales
evil?
of the Sith? That would be cool.
Yeah, like him and Darth Plagueis or whatever.
Dude, they still need to make that movie. Like they need to make a movie with Darth Plagueis. Like I feel
Darth Plagueis and Palpatine, that'd be dope, bro.
And like have like the final like end of like whatever show or movie they want, like Palpatine like having an epic fight with Plagueis and killing him. Like that would be sick. Like that would be a
they
good.
Should have showed the whole thing. Yeah.
That's how you easily make $1 billion movie right there.
I know, but you gotta make it good though.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be like Plagueis and Palpatine were gay lovers, and then it'd be like, bro,
no,
like, why?
I don't think they would do that. Like I know how far Disney can go sometimes, but they wouldn't even do that.
I don't know, bro. The way that they're going, they just poop
Well,
things out, and they're like, money, because we're Disney, we can put whatever we
notice
want.
how like okay, so another like Disney Plus show that like I think I first liked it when I was watching it at first, but then like the more I thought about it, the more like annoyed I got at the show, and that's the new that was like the Falcon Winter Soldier show, and like basically the whole so the movie first of all has like too many villains, with the villains being like that U.S. agent guy, the guy like the evil Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good. Like I actually liked his character a lot.
They didn't really make him evil though. He was just like,
Yeah, they should.
He's not moral. He kills people.
He should have been like the main villain in that show. Like in the final episode, that should there should have been a huge fight between him and Sam as both Captain America, but they just didn't do that. Because instead they fought a bunch of terrorists, which by the way,
they were friggin' terrorists.
And then Captain America himself straight up says, "Guys, we can't be calling them terrorists anymore." I'm like, okay, so they blow up buildings and kill like U.S. Army men. Like they're not terrorists.
Yeah, they blew up a children's hospital or something.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, they're not terrorists. And it's like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, I feel like step one, if you want to be a terrorist, is blow something up. Specifically a building with innocent people in it.
I know.
Like that's an act of terrorism. Okay, by definition.
Makes you a terrorist.
Yeah. And so that was all dumb. And then the whole like thing with that other side character, he's like, well, a society will never let a black man be Captain America. I'm like, what?
Like nobody cares, bro.
Like, bro, like, and also like, while the show was happening, everyone, including myself, was in favor of him being Captain America. Like, it didn't bother us that he was black and wanted to be Captain America. Like, we wanted him to be that character. But, like, for some, like, the movie, not the movie, the show implies that, like, all of society is just racist now.
I don't know, it's like, America's racist and doesn't like that the black guy is Captain America. And it's like,
and
nobody cares if he's black.
Like, I still have, like, I remember after that final episode came out, the next day in school, like, I come in, and all of our friends are talking about how much they like the new Captain America. And, like, how
we
cool,
liked him, bro.
Yeah, we liked him. Like, because he's a decently written character.
He's a good backstory.
Good backstory, decent family and everything, and, like good sense of, community, I guess. But, like, for some reason, they want to throw that in there. And so that was just weird too. Like they didn't need to do that. Like they try to push this narrative that like, oh, America in real life is like actually racist as a society, when it was actually proven false because everyone liked that character.
Yeah, like we all liked him.
Yeah. Like I still have not seen anyone on Twitter or anyone online complain about him being the new Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Like I straight up haven't. And then, let's see, what else? I guess let's talk about the most recent thing. She-Hulk.
Dude, She-Hulk is booty, dude. It is so bad.
Literally.
Literally booty. Because she, like, twerks in one of the scenes with the other lady.
With one of the girls who did WAP with Cardi B. Like Megan Thee Stallion or
Megan Thee Stallion or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's just like... Why? Why would you put that in there? And then they're like, she's the attorney at law. And then they're like, why are we're tanking so bad because America doesn't like women. And it's like, no,
okay.
We don't like this ass
so
story
here are the
you keep putting out.
Here's the one scene from She-Hulk that like kind of like annoyed me. It was the scene where she talked about like, I control my anger infinitely more than you, even though. And she basically acts like she had a harder life than, like, her cousin Bruce. Okay, from what I heard, Bruce was, like... Well, actually, from what I've seen, since I've seen, like, all of his movies and stuff, he was, like, on the run from the military for, like, many years and had to fight with, like, an alternate personality of himself, deal with, like, constant enragement, and so he had, like... and he always felt out of control. I feel like that is way worse than getting catcalled in the streets, like or when quote unquote incompetent men tell her how to do her like lawyer job. And I was just like, okay, whatever. And like it just like, by the way, if the worst thing in your life has been getting catcalled and incompetent people telling you how to do your job, you have to be the most privileged person I've ever known.
I know, like, most people have something tragic that happens in their life, I would think. Like,
Except
probably
for
not like super tragic, but like something that's like,
decent.
decently tragic, like.
That's like that like happens to like everyone.
Because that's just
But
how
I
life
guess,
is.
but
Everyone has something
I guess
that
she's
happens.
like the one exception. Nothing ever bad's happened
Nothing's
to her.
bad happened to her except for some dudes while she was walking down the street were like, "Oh, you're hot," and she's like, "Oh," like no one calls me hot. If I was walking down the street and some girl was like, "Man, you're hot," I'd be like, "Thanks."
I mean, one
Of course, I'm not a woman, so
well, that
maybe
happens.
different.
That does happen to me though.
Well, yeah, but do you feel like so oppressed because that happens?
Why would I feel oppressed for that?
I know, it's like
I don't understand how that's like if you like harass them, yes, but like if you just like ignore, like if they just notice you, like that's not harassment, and that's not being oppressed at all. Like I don't.
It's like Lizzo during.
Remember to vote, to change the laws that are oppressing us, even though she can't name
She doesn't know any of
any
the
laws because they don't exist.
And then when I was watching Thursday Night Football yesterday, she had some like commercial where she was, I can't remember what she was promoting or whatever, but she's like sitting there in like a bathtub or whatever,
Oh my
eating
God,
something,
no.
and I'm like, oh yeah, she is so oppressed right now. She's probably getting paid millions just to be sitting in that bathtub.
Like how is she, dude? Dude. If I was a multi-millionaire, I would not care if everyone like hated me. Like I'd be like, okay, I'm a millionaire, and now
Well,
I'm
obviously,
gonna go
I'm more
move.
successful than you, so yeah.
Yeah, so like, how would I be oppressed? Like,
Like obviously she's been successful. She has money. She's made her own money. Of course, I mean the reason why is because she's something different, I guess.
empowering, as they like to call it.
But it's just like nobody cares that you're black and nobody cares that you're fat. Like nobody sees you differently because you're black
However-
and fat.
Yeah, like, but when you keep pushing this agenda that like, oh, you are the one who's being oppressed, it's like when LeBron James is like, yeah, I'm a slave to the NBA because they're forcing me to play basketball. I'm like, aren't
Bro,
you a billionaire
like,
now?
You
Like,
get paid like so much money. That was kind of how like Colin Kaepernick was in the NFL.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm a slave.
He's like,
working in the
I'm
NFL.
owned by these NFL teams, and it's like the difference between you and slaves
Was
is
that slaves had no money.
they don't get paid. They're there because they don't get paid. You
And also,
don't have to be there. You can just be like, okay, I'm done with the NBA or I'm done with the NFL. You can just leave.
yeah. What do you think Antonio Brown did last year?
Yeah, he just got up, took his jersey off,
Peaced out,
and left because he didn't want to be
Not
there
gonna
anymore.
lie, that really pissed me off because I had him on my fantasy team, and that tanked my fantasy football.
I know, but that's
career.
called freedom, though. He had the freedom to do that.
Yeah.
Because he's not a slave. And then Antonio Brown was also one of the guys that was like, yeah, these white oppressive owners of these NFL teams are making me play. It's like, bro, you literally just walked out
Bro.
because you could. You can walk out if you want
It's
to.
like, do you like the game or not? Like, you don't have to play football.
You don't have to play football.
Like, you could play for like 2 seasons and then have enough money to like live on.
I know, you can live like the rest of us where you just get a normal job. Football's not a normal job. It's not. There's 1 day a week for like 9 months out of the year where you play. I mean, of course you got to work. I'm not saying that it's not.
Yeah, for sure.
You definitely have to work hard to be in the NFL. But like, it's not a normal job because you're getting paid so much more than everyone else to do something that supposedly you like to do, because you're not going to play football because you don't like to. Most people play football when they're a kid because they like to play football, and then they get to be good in college and make it to the NFL. Not because of the money, because you don't get paid when you're a little kid and not in college. So most people in the NFL like to play the game. So to say that it's slavery because you're doing something that you like and you're getting paid millions to do it,
That doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't make
at
any
all.
sense.
Yeah.
Like, they're just pulling stuff out of their ass. And then the new Thor movie.
Oh, okay. So I guess we could get to the new Thor movie now. So we just talked about the goats. So another stupid joke in that movie was, the storm. He talks to like his hammers and axes as if they're like real people. Like, dude, like I am so sick of people, like talking to inanimate objects as if they have personalities
Well, it's kind of
and
like
are human beings as well.
it's kind of like girls in our high school that would like name their cars and be like, "Oh, she was being a bad
Yeah,
B
but
word
they
today
had
this morning." And it's like, "What? It's your car. Like, you probably have a bad spark plug. Like, just shut up and fix it. Like, come on."
Yeah.
She didn't want to start up for me. And it's like, well, fix it. Like, don't give it a name and be like this. It just doesn't make any sense.
And also, like, yeah, because that whole joke was like, oh, Stormbreaker's now jealous. I'm like, what? And I guess the first time they did it, it was kind of funny. But then they did it so many times. And then it was so bad to the point where it shifted the entire plot. Like, Thor was like, okay, let's find the kids, Stormbreaker. And, like, for some reason, like, Stormbreaker cares more about his jealousy than finding the kids.
I know, like Stormbreaker is so...
Stormbreaker sucks now.
Stormbreaker is so into itself, whatever
Thor
it is.
went that new Stormbreaker went from the goat that could kill Thanos to like the absolute clown that it is today. Like,
I know, because friggin' the hammer, I don't know what its name is. I don't
the
really know.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir? Yeah. Like, because Mjolnir came back, and then...
And he's
and
like,
I don't even...
and he's talking like, here, boy, like, come here. I'm like, it's not a dog. Stop it. It's not a dog.
Like, it's because you're worthy that it comes to you, not because you
And
call
also,
it.
it didn't make sense how like Mjolnir was killing Natalie Portman. Like, even though it says in the great text, oh, it offers like great health and everything.
Yeah,
like that's what it says in the movie, and then it's draining. It's like making her cancer worse somehow. I'm like, what?
It's like, if anything, it should be saving her, making her healthy, making her cancer go away. But then it's like, the power is killing you because you're not a god. And it's like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Especially since Thor, early on in the movie, they explained that Thor made Mjolnir promise or whatever that...
To protect her.
To protect
so,
her. But then it kills her. It's
yeah,
not protecting her at all.
Yeah, it killed her. So, like, what the heck was that all about? Like,
Like,
it didn't make any sense.
They just, like, nerfed Mjolnir so much.
The only good part of that movie was the Christian Bale, you know, the Patrick Bateman guy.
Patrick Bateman guy came in, and he was like the most goated
And like
bad guy
he
ever.
actually had like some like funny scenes, like when he took the rattlesnake or whatever, ripped its head off and like gave it to the kids. That was like actually kind of funny. Like none of the other humor in that movie was good whatsoever.
And he actually had a reason for being bad, because God screw people over in the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
and like Thor being the dumbass he was in that movie, like I feel like that completely justified it in a way. You know what they should have done in that movie? They should have had a new director first of all, removed every stupid joke you can, and bring back Loki, because like Loki on the TV show, like
because, yeah, Loki's back.
yeah,
like, the whole thing is Loki's back.
They should have brought him back. You know, they would have made it happen,
Vision's
and that would have
back,
been good.
And Loki's back, and then they don't even bring him into the movies that they're supposed to be in.
Yeah, like I feel like that would have made the movie like so much like more entertaining and just overall like interesting story wise if they did that, but they didn't.
They just add jokes, make everybody gay, and it's like, I don't care if they're gay, but give them a reason why they're gay. Like why are they gay, and why is it important to the story, you know? Like, it didn't, all it was, oh, I'm just a face now, so I might as well confess my gay lover. And then...
Oh yeah, by the way, how the heck did Korg survive? Because like, I don't know, rocks are inanimate objects. They can't heal. Like if you crack a rock in half, it's not gonna repair.
He grows back in like, what, a month it said, or whatever?
I don't know.
I grew back a couple months later, and then me and my boyfriend with the stereotypical gay mustache went and had a baby next
By
to
the way,
lava
rocks
pit.
can't grow hair of any kind either, so that didn't make any sense anyway. Like that was also
and
weird.
they should, like, the movie would have been better if it was serious, and Valkyrie...
Just like...
And Valkyrie should have died, because she got stabbed by the... What was it, Necromancer, or whatever it was called, or something?
Oh yeah!
Like, she gets stabbed by the sword that kills gods, and she's not a god.
Not even close to one, yeah.
And she's just like, oh, it just kind of hit me, but I'm fine, because I'm strong. And it's like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
And I hate it. I just hate that.
And then
movie.
The Rock should have died too. Like if it was a serious movie and Korg and Valkyrie
Oh,
both died.
Yeah, even freaking Zeus was a complete clown in that movie. I'm like, what is this movie?
I know, he's like, you're not invited to the orgy. And it's like, no, bro. Like, can we get like an actual fight scene and not just, look at my fancy bolt. I'm going to throw it, my lightning bolt buzz. And then I'm not going to pay attention whether or not it kills Thor. So I'm going to turn my back so then he hits me right when I'm turned around.
Yeah.
It's like, bro. And
That
then Zeus should have died. But then he's like at the end of the movie.
The thing impaled it. Yeah, we shouldn't have saved for the post credits. I don't know.
And then at the end of the movie, they're like, "I'm still alive. Go kill him for me." Whatever. What was it, Hercules or whatever?
Something like that. But like, come on, if Thor killed him,
like there was 3 characters that should have died in that movie, like without a doubt. We're like,
Zeus,
oh, he's
Valkyrie,
dead.
and Korg.
Like they gotta stop, like, cheesing us with deaths. Like it was good. The reason why Infinity War was good is because Loki died. And other people actually died. And then Endgame was good because people actually died. Not just like, I died, but oh wait, I'm back because I'm strong and powerful. It's like that, no. Like, you got stabbed by the black sword that kills people.
Yeah, that was so dumb. I just hated that.
And then Korg literally, like, disintegrates, but then he's like, my head is still alive.
But like it wasn't even like his whole brain or anything. It was just a slim jim of his head.
Of his face.
Like just his like face. It's like if you like surgically remove my face, is the face gonna be talking or anything? No. Cause that's
But he's a Korg, so it's fine because the only part of his body that's actually alive is his face. And then he can just like grow back his whole body? Like he's a big guy.
Like it's a rock.
It's a rock.
It's a freaking rock. You can't grow a rock back. So now I want to get into like what the future, my concern for the future of
The Little Mermaid?
I guess we can talk about Little Mermaid. Okay,
honestly,
so
I don't really know very much.
I
about the Little
I
Mermaid.
honestly don't care. I never cared about the Little Mermaid to begin with, so I'm not gonna even pretend to act like, oh, I'm offended.
I didn't even like the original Little Mermaid. It was just
First
about
of all, I
some
will go out and
spoiled-
say, no one cares about live action remakes anymore.
Like, the first ones weren't even good when they made like the Lion King live action.
That was not good.
It wasn't
none of
never
them
watched any
were
of those
good.
remakes.
So right off the bat, I wasn't planning on watching that movie, like because of that, and I still stand by that. You know, I honestly like don't like. I know the whole controversy is like, cause like they took, so like the whole, basically a lot of like the right is like, they're upset because they took a white character, and made her like black, and who like also doesn't have like red hair at all, which is kind of weird. You know, that's kind of like her trait is to have red hair.
Well, it's kind of like with that one show, the Teen Titans show, when they take Starfire.
Oh,
the
the live action. Yeah, that show is kind of lame. They like I don't even want to talk about that. That was
But
so
like
lame.
they're always like, well, people aren't gonna watch the show because she's black and America's racist. And it's like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not really
here's the thing.
interested
Here's the
in
thing.
those type of shows.
We are not dumb. We know we can smell Disney's woke schemes coming from a mile away.
And then they're like trying to make us look bad because like, you're not gonna watch the show because she's black, right? It's like, I didn't watch any of the other live actions because I know what's gonna happen in the story because it's the same story. Just
it also
in
doesn't
live
make
action.
sense. Like, let's take Lion King for example. You have like the animals and stuff singing and everything. It doesn't make sense when they look real.
Mm-hmm.
And have like singing emo and stuff, because at least with animation you can have them emo in a way and have like their face and character model like look not human but like more like lively.
It's cartoon. It's a cartoon. And like it's supposed to be kind of like not necessarily realistic when it's a cartoon. Like Tom and Jerry, there's not some cat getting hit by a frying pan from a mouse somewhere. And the reason why you know it's fake is because it's a cartoon. But when you make it live action, it just kind of looks weird.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you can make Aladdin live action, but the reason why I didn't watch that is because I already know what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I know what the end of the story is already.
I just didn't care at all.
It's like it's kind of like with the Lego Star Wars games, you know? Like, you know, it's fun to play them, but you're not kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen at the end? Because
You know
it's
what
based off the
happens.
movie, so you know what happens.
Yeah.
The only reason why we kind of play them is because Lego makes them goofy, so it's kind of fun to play them. But
Yeah.
in the live
Yeah.
actions with the Little Mermaid, and then also with
And also,
Aladdin,
let's
and then
take the
Mulan,
let's
they
take the
make
reverse.
Mulan
Let's
super.
take the let's do a little reversal. What if they casted a white guy to play Black Panther?
Oh, well, yeah.
Do you know how, like, dude, there would be literal riots in the street for something like that. I am saying I don't want that to happen though. Like, I prefer characters to always be like the
Who
way
are.
they are.
Yeah, like the character was made that way.
Like, it'd
designed
be
that
like
way.
if they took like Peter Parker and like made him a like black too. And I'm like,
Well, they do with
well,
Miles
no,
Morales.
no, 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 no.
Well, Miles
They
Morales
have
is different, I guess.
Miles
He's a
Morales
different-
is a completely different
he's a
character.
different Spider-Man.
That's something that they should have. That's something that they did correct, actually.
Like, if they're gonna
And
make
I
the Little
liked it.
Mermaid, they should have it be a different story of a different mermaid, but
That
she's
would
black.
that would have been cool.
But that would have been good, yeah.
Because then it would have been like, oh, this is new. Now I actually want to watch it. But no, it's the same exact story and everything.
They keep
and,
rehashing things. That's why Disney
and
sucks
also,
nowadays.
the reason I don't like the Little Mermaid in the first place is because the main villain is a pedophile. Like,
Oh, yeah.
she's literally some creepy old grandma pedophile who just likes that little underage girl. Like, I just don't.
Well,
that-
and plus, like, the Little Mermaid's such a little brat, dude. I ain't part of your world. It's like, bro, like, grow a pair of legs. Just go up there. Stop being a little
yeah.
bee about everything.
I don't think I've ever like watched the full movie.
I haven't seen it in years. It's
Yeah,
been forever since I've seen it, but I've
Yeah.
definitely watched it before.
I just see like little clips of it, and I look at and I just think of the main villain. Like, also the main villain from Aladdin, he's a pedophile too.
I know he wants to marry like the 15-year-old
Princess
Jasmine. Well,
And he's
the main
and
reason,
he's like 30, 40 years old.
He's probably like
he's literally
50, bro.
he's literally EDP, the EDP of Disney. Like, what the heck was that?
Well, he wanted to be king though. That's why he wanted to marry her.
But like, he couldn't wait. Well, even
Well,
what
he
was
could.
he
He
thinking?
couldn't wait because then she would just because he wasn't related to her at all, so he couldn't be king anyway. He wanted to marry her and then kill her, so then he would be
at
king.
least Shrek did a good job because Fiona was of age when
Well,
that.
yeah.
That's why Shrek is good. Dude,
Shrek
did you
is so
hear
good.
they're making a new like Kung Fu Panda movie, like a Kung Fu Panda 4, and I quote tweeted all the Shrek fans right now. It's Walter White screaming, "Ah, no!"
They should make another Shrek. Well, actually,
I don't
The last
think
Shrek movie was bad.
I
They-
don't.
They should
I
keep
think
it the way it is.
I think they should retire the Shrek
You
movies.
need a There's a certain part where you get to somewhere and you're like, okay, the story's finished. Let's move. Let's make something
Exactly
different.
same thing with Star Wars.
Like Star
They're
Wars,
gonna-
they should have ended it after
The
prequels.
story ended. Like the core story actually ended
in like the 80s.
in like the 80s, yeah.
And then
but,
the
like,
prequels were good.
The
That was
prequels
good.
prequels are goated. I don't understand why all the freaking millennials just hated
They're like,
on like the
it
prequels.
doesn't make any sense because the acting is bad. It's like, but the fight scenes are dope and the story is good. It makes sense. Like everything makes sense because George Lucas knows what he's doing.
Yeah, dude, I like George Lucas. I am George Lucas, creator of
Star Wars
the
saga.
freaking deep fakes that we see of George Lucas.
What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh, the Phantom Menace. Oh, you're my best friend.
You're my best friend.
That's funny. It was so weird when like Mandalorian came out and everyone on the streets like, yeah, Mandalorian's a western. It's a western. I'm like, have you seen a western?
It's a space western. It's like, is it though? I mean, it's
No.
just kind of like the Mandalorian. Like he's just a bounty hunter.
Yeah, like.
He's
Bounty-
not really from Ram Ranch. He's not a cowboy. Like he's just the Mandalorian, bro.
Yeah.
Then
He's
they're
just-
like, it's kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons where.
Oh, yeah, dude,
The
I-
DM master or something, and it's like what? Like no, what? Like,
And then the guy doing the George Lucas deepfake is like, yeah, I have no idea what you just said.
well,
Right there.
and then like season 1 of Mandalorian was good, not because of Grogu, but because it was something different. It was like a new Star Wars story. We've never seen any of these characters before.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is dope. And then season 2 was cool
Season 2 was
because they
goated,
brought
man.
Luke back, and the goated Luke, not the puss ass non-goated Luke from episode 8 and
Yeah.
9 and garbage.
Like, I don't, like, I know they CGI'd his face. Dude, I didn't care. Like, it was still awesome to see. And
Like,
plus,
he
they,
looked
they
good.
improved it. They improved the CGI.
And, like, for what it was good. I mean, if you can deal with the Breaking Bad...
And they introduced, like, live-action Ahsoka. That was cool, too.
Oh, yeah, she was cool. And then I hope they make an Ahsoka show. I mean...
Well, they are, yeah.
Yeah, they said they were.
And Dave
they,
Filoni's interested. That, I actually might watch that. Because
Dave Filoni knows what he... Like, they make Dave Filoni the, like, head of Star Wars or whatever. But now he doesn't direct anything anymore. He's just kind of the guy that's like, oh, yeah, we can make a show about that.
Yeah.
And we can make a show about that.
Yeah,
It's like, why can't you
the
be the
sad
director?
thing is, like, as much as I wish we could, you can't have him direct everything.
I know, but have him direct, like, the nice stuff. Or maybe he can direct everything, just have less stuff come out.
You know who should have made the Obi-Wan show? It's just George Lucas himself. However, I will say, I don't think George Lucas would have wanted to make a show like that.
Yeah,
because like
it's not his show.
Is it real? Does it really matter what happened in between episodes like 3 and 4? Like, it really doesn't.
It doesn't matter because everyone knows what the end story is. You know, it's not
Mhm.
like a new story. And then,
But like that's
George
why
Lucas,
they're pumping out content for every side character possible.
I know, like the Andor character, like Bro was the side character in Rogue One. Like he wasn't even a main character in the side movie.
I don't care
and then
about
like,
it.
Let's see his backstory. And it's like, I don't care.
Also, like here's the other thing too. Like Disney has like been pumping out so much content for like Marvel and Star Wars that like visual effects workers are like getting like overworked. Have you heard about like what's?
Well, yeah, that's why Black Widow was so garbage, because they gave him like such little time frame to do all this really complicated CGI, and that's why it looks so bad.
Well, like the CGI, dude, Marvel movies and CGI, the CGI nowadays looks garbage.
Like
She-Hulk's CGI.
She-Hulk looks so bad, dude.
She's not like, if she was hot, I would probably watch the show, but she's like not.
That's sexist.
Well, I mean, I'm just kidding. Like,
the only reason why I watched Black Widow is because Scarlett Johansson was in it. Like, no cap.
yeah. And like her sister was in it too.
And her sister's, yeah, she's hot too.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's not the only reason why I watch shows though. Like, Star Wars, the reason why people watch that wasn't because Princess Leia's in it and she's hot. Like, Princess Leia wasn't even advertised at all in the Star Wars movies. It was just kind of like, oh, there's something new, something cool. And now they're just rehash.
I am scared. I am scared. I'm scared what they're gonna do with Daredevil. Like, I am honestly terrified. Because first of all,
they're gonna make him gay for Kingpin.
No, they're not gonna do that.
Hashtag gay for Kingpin.
No, they're not gonna do that. I can guarantee. Like, Disney is stupid, but they're not that stupid.
You're not gay for Kingpin?
Please shut the hell up about that. Okay. Now, first of all, huge red flag. The same show that involved a bad CGI main character and Mega Thee Stallion, Daredevil's gonna be in that show.
At some point.
Yeah. Like,
well, because they're both attorneys at law.
Yeah, but like, why? Why is he in? He doesn't need to be in there.
Like, are we ever gonna get another Daredevil season?
That in a couple years.
And I swear, if like She-Hulk is in Daredevil, I'm gonna be like, bro, you're just.
So here's what's going on with that character. Remember, like, so it's kind of a soft reboot, honestly, which is kind of sad because like, I liked the first 3 seasons of Netflix's like Daredevil show. Like, that was actually like a good show.
And yeah, like Daredevil was good. And then at the end they left it on a cliffhanger with
But it was so good though.
They left it on a cliffhanger for like, oh yes, they're gonna make another season. And then they just don't, because Netflix sucks. Yeah, and then Disney buys them, and they get Daredevil. Disney does,
and they're doing a soft reboot. Like, why couldn't they just make a season 4? Like, the fact that they're not doing a season 4 and they're doing like a soft reboot made me a little uninterested now. Because now, are they gonna continue the storyline with like the villain from season 3, which was like a very great character in that show? Probably not. So, and also like, so the current plan is next year they're gonna film the show, and then the year after that they're gonna finally release it.
It's not gonna come out until 2024.
Yeah.
Bro.
So it's gonna be a long while.
I swear if they like recast Foggy,
dude, I would be so pissed.
Foggy's goated, bro. He is
if
the
they
goat.
recasted him, like they need to bring back like John Bernthal and you know the girl who played Karen. Like they need to bring back all those people.
Bring back the Karen.
Yeah, but the nice Karen.
She's the goated Karen. Though.
Yeah, the goated Karen.
Yeah.
And then, cause you know, like the first, like think about it, like so season 3 came out in like 2018, and then you got 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. So you got 6 years. We have 6 years between season 3 and the new soft reboot of the show when it comes out. Like that's just insane to think about.
And another thing about Daredevil is it's just another thing that's already happened. Like another example of how Disney's just rehashing everything. And it's like, why can't we have... I don't really want a new superhero because they've done superheroes. And like Marvel has been done. Superheroes have been done.
Well, here's the problem. Like when they cap off like their main like superheroes, they try to introduce like a bunch of lame new ones. Like that one from Moon Knight. Like not Moon Knight himself, but that one other girl from Moon Knight.
Oh yeah, her.
That was so.
Like she get like
remember
the hippo
her,
powers
she
or
was
something?
she was the avatar of a hippo god, but had like the powers of a bird. She was literally a bird. I'm a bird.
Like it doesn't make any sense. You're a hippo. Like where's the hippo powers?
Dude, like why couldn't she be a hippo? Dude, hippos can like.
Hippos are dangerous.
They
bro.
are so they can kill humans like instantly. They can eat them alive without any effort.
And then they just turn her into like a bird, and it's like, birds haven't been able to kill people in a long friggin' time since like the dinosaurs.
By the way, that show sucked too. Like that show because the whole
because
show
they didn't even bring the third guy
all the 3 episodes were all about, oh, we're gonna like slowly tease and hype up the third personality, even though all the way from like episode 3 we knew that
there's a third personality.
We just knew there was, but they didn't do anything with it.
And then at the end they have like a surprise reveal, like, what? There's a third
but
personality?
Like, they committed so hard on keeping that secret that they cut out the final fight scene,
which was, it's like he gets into like a situation that he can't get out of. And then and then he switches into his kind of evil side,
and then kills.
He like destroys everyone, but they don't show up. They just have him wake up and everyone's dead.
Dude, I still remember we were downstairs watching that, and you just threw the koozie on the ground because you were like so pissed off about it.
Because like this, they hype it up so much. Like this third character, he's a badass. He kills everyone. He's so cool. And then he has a chance to actually be seen fighting, and they don't show him fighting at all. They just have like those stupid like bark 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 bark.
Yeah, I know.
Stupid thing, and then he wakes up. And he's like, "Whoa, did you kill everyone, Hippo Lady?" And she's like, "No, I didn't." It's like it's a crackhead of a show, and it sucks.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah, overall, I'm really concerned with the future of with Disney. I don't feel like, because like remember whenever they get called out, whenever Disney gets called out on doing something like really stupid, they always double down on it. Like they never like set back and like, okay, let's just like fix this. They always just want to double down on
like
anything stupid.
Like they listen to the critiques, but they don't fix anything. They're just like, oh, they didn't like this? Let's do it again, but harder.
Or they go, oh, they didn't like this. It's because they're like, oh, racist or sexist or something. They're like, no, like literally.
It's like
no.
In the Lightyear movie, I don't care that the characters are gay. I don't care. But the reason why it sucks is because the whole movie is these characters are gay. That's the whole movie. Is just he comes back every time and they're more gay every time. And it's like, what? Like that's not a story. That's not a story.
That's just forcing representation down our throats, and people are like, "Oh, all what matters is like other like why? Okay, this is gonna be a little side political rant, I guess, since I mean, this is like why Disney's like kind of falling down in the first place anyway. But like, why does everyone care about like equity? Like because it implies that like the system is just so like racist and sexist by default the way it is that like we need to change all of our top organizations. And so like employers at jobs will like now employees like now need to meet a new criteria of just not being a straight white dude. Like that's what like I just don't.
Yeah, it's not equality anymore.
It yeah.
Because they're making it to where companies, it's like a rule that companies need to hire a certain amount of black people now.
Or like a certain amount of like non-straight people. Like,
yeah, and it's like
do you have any idea?
That's not equality.
Okay, so with the company I work at, if that is all what they focused on, I guarantee you, like, our production, like the product that my company like moves out, like would be like bad because they focus more on the equity stuff and more or less like you cannot make judgments or say something like, oh, this person is hired because they're black, or no, this person is fired because they're not, because they're straight or whatever. Like that is called racism and sexism.
Like the reason,
like you can't praise people because they're different, because that's demeaning people who are different like from them.
Well,
Like,
the whole reason why it's not true equality is because true equality is you don't see color at all, you don't see sex at all. Like
yeah,
you don't
like,
see that.
That's the and like for
You
some
only see
reason,
the skills
for
that
some
they bring
reason,
to the company.
they think that's bad. Like I prefer. Like, do you have any idea like how much work would have to go into like seeing color, seeing sex? Like, bro, no, like you should just that just shouldn't matter. All what should matter is like your character. That is like the ultimate.
Well, and it should
thing.
also matter like how good you are. That's why in sports they don't necessarily have that, because obviously there's a lot more black guys that play in professional sports because they're better than the white guys at it. Like
Yeah.
that's what they're better at.
Yeah, and that's just how it is.
And there's a lot of companies that have a lot of black people in them because people are just better at certain things than other people. It's
Yeah, like
it's just how it is. Not everybody
but now,
is good
but
at
now,
the same
but now,
thing.
but now, apparently, stating something like that is like now labeled as racist.
Me saying that everyone has different skills at everything.
Because I'm so sick of this inspirational quote that's thrown around every media company. You can be anything you want to be, and I'm like, really,
You
anything?
can't. Like,
You
not
can't.
everybody can be
I mean,
president. Like,
I
not
mean,
everybody can do that.
yeah, I mean, like wise, you can go out and try. You are more than welcome to do that. But like, you can't like be something that you're not. Like that's just not how it works.
I know. It's like, well, a lot of things that people like to say is that, well, when everyone dies, we're all the same. And it's like, well, that's not true. When we're born, we're all the same. I like to think that everybody is equal when we're born because we haven't had a chance to mess up or improve our lives yet. And when everyone dies, there's some people that have a legacy and there's some people that don't. Like, Abraham Lincoln is more important to the world than Adolf Hitler, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Adolf Hitler in his death is not equal.
I mean, he does. I mean, Adolf Hitler did leave back a legacy technically because everyone remembers him, but it's a bad legacy.
It's not one that you want.
Yeah, I would say
Adolf Hitler is worth. I would
say a bad legacy would, for example, would be like Joe Biden, for example, like because he's just been like so awful at what he's doing. Like he
hasn't improved the country as the president. Like
No, he's made it worse.
The whole reason, like the whole point of being president is to improve the country.
But he didn't do that.
He's not improving the country at all.
He threw in all these, like the stupid ass like student loan forgiveness plan, is like the dumbest thing ever. So like I'm being punished because other people decided
they can't pay their own debt. Like you have to pay your own debts. There's no get out of jail free card. in anything.
Yeah.
No
like,
debt out
the
of
left just doesn't realize
debt-free.
that there are consequences to actions. That's how life is.
If
But
you
they
go
don't
to
live in
college-
life. They live in delusion. They mainstream delusion. They love living in their own delusional world. Like, it's like they all have an overdose of John Lennon all of a sudden, which they all do. Like we know that. Like,
if you go to college for some dumb degree that you're not gonna make any money off
or
of,
if you go to college just so that you can party and like get a bunch of girlfriends
and
or
yeah,
whatever.
that's your fault.
Which is like, I guarantee you, that's like half the people that go to university.
I know half the people that go to university, they're like, I don't really know what I'm going in for. Right now I'm majoring in communication or whatever, and it's like that's the most useless degree in the world. And when you get out of college, you're not gonna be able to make any money. And then people who pay taxes and actually work for a living have to pay off your student debt because you didn't make enough money.
Yeah,
and you didn't choose the right
because
degree.
those people in college aren't working at all. You can't tax people if they don't work.
I know, and like I'm okay with people in college not working, but when you're saying, well, they don't have to pay their student loan debt, and it's like, well, why? Why do I got to pay for their education? I understand that for the kids.
Like
I understand paying for high school because that's like a minimum education that everyone should have. But getting a degree in something stupid that's not going to get you any money, that's not something that everybody needs. Having a high school education improves the country.
Yeah, having a high school like, it's crazy, like, how much, like, how, like, important it is to, like, I know a lot of people, like, oh, F high school. Like, dude, like, stay in high school. Like, at the very least, graduate high school.
I know, it's like a minimum education that you should have.
Yeah.
It's the way that you can actually become a pretty intelligent adult in life and be able to make decisions that are
And
correct.
we don't mean, like, okay, maybe, okay, it depends on the school you go to, because, I mean, I don't really want to go too much on, like, how, like, public schools are, like, completely, like, satanic now.
Well, it's the new curriculum. That's kind of bad.
Yeah.
They have this new curriculum to where they're trying to teach, like, second graders about, or even kindergartners in some schools, about, like,
Gender fluidity.
This daddy has, or this kid has two daddies. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't
Dude,
care
Ron
if you teach the kids that.
Ron DeSantis is so goated for that bill. Because...
Well, they're always like, well, that's bad. And it's like,
what
part of that is educational? Like, that's not...
The classroom is meant for teachers to teach you how to write, how to read, how to do math, how to know the basics of science throughout the world.
It's so you can get a grasp of understanding in the world. And one of the things that, like, I don't want to sound like I'm homophobic, but it's just true, is one of the things that gay people and transgenders don't have is a grasp on reality. You can't just be a man then say that I'm a woman.
Because they're saying that, like, trans people are whatever gender that they choose to be, even though they can't actually define. So how can you identify as something that you can't define?
Well, and it's just not true. Like, if I bake a cookie, I'm not going to give it to someone and be like, this is a pie. Like, because it's not. It's a cookie. And if you're born a man, you can't just go up and be like, I'm a woman, because it's just not what you are.
That one kid who commented on your, like, should abortion be legal podcast, and he said that, like, oh, not every man, not every woman has, like, ova, or, like, not every man has sperm. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, yeah, he was saying how my abortion podcast was wrong because I didn't talk about how transgenders can have abortions too. And it was like, that's not what the podcast was about. And, I'll probably have another podcast just talking about transgenders and gays and stuff like that. Like, if you want to be gay, that's okay. Like, it's okay to be gay.
But, like, it gets to a point where, like, when you are straight up castrating, mutilating kids, like, all these doctors are promoting healthcare. Okay, let's define healthcare. Healthcare is ensuring the safety, comfortability, and overall, like, human life quality of like a person, right? And so when people say something like, oh, abortion is healthcare, like,
it's not.
Is it, though? You're killing
some. And even though they're like, well, it's not a person yet, it's like, well, it's gonna be.
Yeah, like,
it's like,
is a tadpole a frog yet?
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be. Like,
it's still a living thing. Even if it's just a single sperm cell, it's still living because that sperm cell is a living organism. Single-celled organism is still something that lives. And
Yeah,
you're still killing
it's
it.
something that's alive.
And
Like,
especially when it's already taking the form
like
of a
sure,
human
it's
being.
not evolved to the point where it can think. And I'm so sick of like all these people on Twitter and like all these politicians like, if my mom decided to abort me, I would have been perfectly fine with that. What?
You'd be dead.
You don't know that.
You're dead.
Like, and also like, aren't you okay? Here's a question I would ask him: Are you alive? Are you happy that you're alive and everything? Yes. Okay, so are you happy that you weren't aborted? Yes. So do you want to abort the kids? Also, yes. I'm like, what?
It's like, we don't, like how I said in the, I have a whole podcast on this. If you guys want to go listen to that, you can. But one of my main points in that was, we don't let people kill themselves on their own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad. But we'll let somebody kill their child because they own the child. You don't own your children. Like, you just don't own kids.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing too. I don't think
It's
I
called
don't
slavery when you own someone.
mom. Like, there was that freaking grandmother who's like running for Democrat, and obviously YouTube is promoting her campaign for Montana.
What's her name? Monica Tranel or something like that.
So, what I'm saying is, if like you're in favor of something like that, you don't deserve to be a mom or a parent in the first place. Because by you doing that, you think you have the power to straight up control your kid like a robot. And then therefore that's gonna be what your parenting style is.
You don't own your kids.
Yeah, that's not there's a difference between a mentor and a like militaristic leader. Like you're not like the reason like the thing about military is like in the military like you are a full grown adult who made a decision to like kind of basically throw all of your rights away just so that you can like serve your country and have your like officers and like literal bosses like tell you what to do and stuff like that. And like that's just not how and I feel like parents are gonna kind of adopt that method if they think it's okay. Yeah, I can just kill them like as I please. Even though,
well, and the reason why I say you don't own your kids for people that don't understand that, because some people don't. It's like if I bought something at the store, let's say I bought an apple, I own the apple. I can do whatever I want with that. If I want to throw
it's
it,
because it's not a person.
if I want to throw it on the ground and destroy it, then yeah.
Yeah.
But people are not apples. People are not just inanimate objects. People are people. You don't. Nobody owns somebody else. That's why if you have a bad parent that does abuse their kid, they get taken away because you don't own the kid. You're taking care of the kid.
Yeah, and like abortion is like the ultimate. I mean, it's worse than abuse because they're dead.
Because they're dead. It's like they don't even have a chance to do anything in life. So I don't know. That's a different podcast. So we were talking about Disney,
that's kind of all I want to get into on that one. But
anyway,
it's just
the reason why Disney sucks is because they're rehashing everything and they're trying to force
they're
ideas.
woke. They're kind of they want to make everything like super like far like left and woke, and they're gonna be like, and we don't watch like I'm still subscribed to Disney Plus, for example, but I only use it to watch like older decent stuff. And so when they look at their poll numbers and be like, all these people aren't watching our new stuff. They're watching all the older stuff that we didn't even make in the first place. Then there they go. So
yeah, well, I'm thinking what their plan is they're trying to make things a little bit more woke and more woke all the way until they're gonna get to a point where their new movies in like 5 years from now are so woke that nobody wants to watch them. And so people are going to watch their movies from nowadays because it's like, oh, this is refreshing how non-woke this is. Like, they're going to get...
Oh, you think they're going to, like, double down in the near future?
Yeah, they're just going to, like, keep on going.
Dude, like, we're not watching any of that. I'm not watching any of the live-action remakes. I'm not watching any more Marvel content for the rest of the year. Like, honestly, like, dude, I'm not going to watch the new Black Panther movie at all.
Well, I don't even know where they're going to go with that. I mean, the main
because, like, I'm honestly scared, like, as to what they're going to do. Because Chadwick is gone.
And Chadwick was goated.
Like, they should have... Honestly, I feel like they should have, like, not made that movie. Just because Chadwick's gone. Like, you can't... Like, I just feel like you can't make a Black Panther movie without
Chadwick.
Without Chadwick.
And
like,
Chadwick was good. He's a good actor, and I liked his movie.
He was, yeah.
And now he's dead.
Like, I'm pretty scared as to what's gonna happen with that movie. That's why I, like, don't want to watch it. Because I feel like... Yeah, it's just disappointing.
Yeah. Well, do you have any other thoughts on
No.
Disney?
I think I've kind of went on my whole rant with Disney.
Yeah, I think we said everything we needed to say.
Dude, I can't wait for us to get flamed in the comments by that one kid again.
I think he unsubscribed. Like he doesn't unsubscribe anymore.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't really care.
I mean, I like to have different opinions.
Well,
I would like to have. If I had someone on the podcast that was, arguing against me, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, but when you can't like make an argument that's actually good, then that's just a waste of my time. Like,
I know exactly.
The three separate comments that he made were all just a simple waste of my time, and were all completely false.
Like they didn't make any sense. Like, I mean, I could pull it up.
You want to pull them up? Yeah. Let's actually. You know what? Yeah, I actually want to. I've been wanting to like respond to these for like a while now, but like for some reason I haven't been able to because on my YouTube it doesn't show them.
Oh shoot. Yeah. Oh shoot.
Are they on? No, I think they're on your Twitter. I think they're on your Twitter.
Yeah, I did have a Twitter post about them because I think they've been deleted. So let me go my account. Tweets and replies.
Oh yeah. Can I want to read them.
Okay, so. Oh shoot. There's like a lot. Okay, so first one. He says, "You could have just made this a YouTube short and just say you support Donald Trump." That's the first.
Okay,
one.
so to provide a little bit of context, these are comments that he made after Micah's like abortion podcast, and so yeah, there's some more. If you want like the full context of everything, just listen to that whole podcast and then just listen to like this portion of the podcast. Let's see, an hour 40 minutes. That's kind of where we're at right now. So just kind of track back to there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this guy, the Psy Guys Enjoyer, like that's his
That's his new name.
His
His old name was Ander.
Ander. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep calling him Ander. Anyway, his first comment was, "You could have made this a YouTube short and just say you support Donald Trump." First of all, he never brought up Donald Trump in that podcast.
I never talked about Donald Trump.
And once. I don't think Donald Trump, he doesn't have a conservative value at all.
I don't even know if he's necessarily. I don't know if he's even had a statement about abortion.
He never has.
Well, I just don't know if he has or not because I didn't look that up. I'm not like, what does Donald Trump think about abortion, and then make a podcast on that because I had my own opinions.
Mm-hmm.
These are my opinions.
And then his second comment is, an unborn baby is different to a 3-year-old. So in the context of what he means there, he's basically implying that like, oh, would you want like, why would you want to, like, would you want to kill a 3-year-old? No. Then what about an unborn?
My whole idea behind that was that a 3 years old is about the time where a kid can start understanding the difference between life and death.
Yeah,
that's about when they start getting a general idea about it. Mm-hmm. And if you ask a 3-year-old if they want to die, they're always going to say no.
Always.
So if you go
every single time,
and as a child gets older, that's when they get more corrupted by the world. You're never going to be as innocent and as pure as you are when you're a child. Mm-hmm. So the younger you are, the more innocent you become. Mm-hmm. And so a kid that hasn't even been born yet doesn't even have a chance to become corrupted at all. Of course they're not going to want to die, and they have no reason to be killed because they haven't done anything. They're the most innocent they're ever going to be in their entire life.
So Ander, when you say an unborn child is different to a 3-year-old, okay, when it comes to age, yes, that is true technically with age. But in terms of equality, no. Let me tell you a little something about equality, kid. No human life is more valuable depending on what age you are. All right? Just because, like, I am not more, like me, like, I'm 20 years old. I am not more important than an unborn human life. Because that is another human life.
Like, they have their own
we are
value.
both equal
Everybody
in terms of importance. Just how, like, some 80-year-old is not more important than me. Like,
yeah, and him saying that comment also proves my point by him saying an unborn child isn't the same as a 3-year-old. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Because the unborn child is even more innocent than the 3-year-old. Even more. You're strengthening my claim by saying that.
Yeah, so you kind of shot yourself in the foot there, kid. Anyway, your last comment. Finally, to get through this misery. Um. So, Micah, you brought up the word like estrogen, and you okay. I will say you forgot how to pronounce it, but
Well,
you defined it.
I forgot the word estrogen just because, sometimes you forget words. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh shoot, what's that word? So then I defined the word, and I defined it so well that not only could the general audience understand it, but this 12-year-old could
This
understand it.
12-year-old probably like this 12-year-old just Googled
He
the
probably
meaning of the word off of his mom's
he
Wi-Fi
probably
anyway.
looked
Like,
up the exact words that I said and estrogen popped up probably.
yeah.
So I defined it so well, and the fact that I could define it proves that I understand what it is.
And he says you can't talk about science if you don't know about science. Dude, what do you mean? Like, okay, I will say. Also, not every woman is AFAB. Not every man is AMAB. So basically, what he's implying is that um,
Well, AFAB and AMAB is
that's kind of like what you have in your biology. Like I have AMAB because I'm a
well, because
guy.
the what it stands for is assigned female at birth and assigned male at birth,
Yeah,
because that's what they try to say. They don't say that people are male and female. They say like, well, they were assigned that when they were born.
yeah.
So that's
And
what
so,
he's trying to say there.
Andrew, you're the one who doesn't know anything about science when you straight up say that not every woman is an assigned female at birth
And
and
plus,
an
like,
assigned male at birth.
he doesn't even tell me how I'm wrong. Like, was I wrong though with what I said? Like, with
N-
my biological understanding of the male and
Yeah,
female
yeah. Like how does he like if
anatomy,
anything, you're the one who doesn't know about science. Okay, if you are
like if you believe that a cookie can be a pie, and also believe that a man could be a female, even though he has like someone who has male parts and was born with male parts isn't someone who was born with female parts.
yeah,
That's just not how it works. They're two
like
separate,
that's
different
how
things.
there are two like separate things. That's just how it is. So yeah, Andrew, you're the one who doesn't know about science. The reason I paused there is because I did get a text from like a worker.
Oh yeah, yeah. I am on call tonight.
Okay,
Yeah. I'll text him back.
okay, cool. Just want to make sure because I was just saying, and then that text popped up. I was like, oh wait, what is that? So
Hmm.
yeah, Andrew, buddy, how old are you again? Like 12, 13, maybe? Dude, stop studying politics and just be a kid.
Like, yeah, he's
Like,
too. I don't
just
understand
be a
why these.
kid, have fun, enjoy high school, enjoy your teenage years. Just and like you don't even live in the United States. Like we're strictly talking within the context of a United States issue because of Roe v. Wade happened, which is a United States issue.
And
So
I'm American myself,
focus on your own country, and we'll focus on ours. Okay, buddy?
and
Now,
also
go
like,
have fun. Go play some Fortnite or whatever you kids play nowadays, and enjoy life. Like I didn't know. I didn't study politics until I was like 19 years old, and before then I was having a blast at high school. Do you have any idea how like miserable I would be if I like studied politics while I was like in like high school still? Because like all my high school conversations would just be me complaining about like well Trump said this or whatever. I guess we did kind of start complaining during the presidential election, but that's kind of like
well, I mean, we were already seniors by the time
yeah
that Joe Biden was elected.
yeah so
Like, we were already 18. Most of us were already 18 years old by
yeah
then. So we could, like, but when I was like in middle school, I wasn't thinking like, oh my gosh, Obama sucks. I wasn't thinking
yeah
like that.
I knew nothing about that because like it just didn't I'm surprised that it even interests like 12-year-old
And
12
then,
13-year-old
well,
kids.
that's because in Britain, they're not only teaching politics, but for some reason, they're just fascinated with America.
Well, they're
Let's teach American politics. And it's like, why do you care, Britain?
yeah they're not teaching us
Like
British
I know
politics.
nothing about the British Parliament or
Like
anything like that.
I don't know any. Well, I mean, they teach us a little bit in like our history class, but it's not to the point where like we know them. Like
Like, I don't know who. I know that Boris Johnson's the prime minister, but I don't know who the guy or the woman or whoever was before that. Like, I just don't
and
know.
I really don't care either.
Like,
Like it's
yeah,
not my country.
I
I
don't
don't
live there.
freaking live there. If God forbid I ever move to that country, which as of right now I really don't because they want to like, you can't even like own any firearms there, which is kind of scary because apparently like people get stabbed in England all the time. Um,
Oh, yeah.
like
That's another podcast we can make.
yeah.
Is that one?
Well, even then, I just don't care. Like I'm a patriotic person. Like I care about my own country more than any other country. Like that's just basic patriotism on my part. Like why would I? How could I not care about my own country the most when I freaking live in it? Like,
Yeah, anyway, we should probably end the podcast.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Summary of this podcast is
Disney sucks.
Disney sucks.
Yeah.
Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we'll make another podcast here. We're both kind of busy at this point in time, but
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be going through like a move. So
yeah.
I probably won't be able to do a podcast until I'm at least like moved in and everything.
Next podcast, I'm planning on doing it on gun rights at some
We
point.
gotta get Ryan in.
But Ryan, he's in college right now, so we're probably gonna have to wait till he comes back. So we're
Yeah.
gonna skip ahead.
That would be a good That would be an entertaining podcast.
Probably gonna skip ahead to the next podcast, which is gonna be, I'm thinking probably, transgenders and gays.
Yeah,
and,
like gender theory.
yeah, and all that stuff.
Yeah, that would be a decent one.
So yeah, hopefully we get a podcast going like in another week or so. But I don't know. I'm just so busy nowadays. But anyway, hope you all have a great rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Goodbye.